Right, hi guys. So this is the second or third video, maybe, depending on how I film things, of the mini series designed for people who are just starting out, who are thinking about starting up. And this video is all about how to price jobs. It's the make or break for your gardening business. So all these videos in the mini series for this will be in a playlist as well. And yes, I'm just going to talk about pricing and kind of the mentality of it and red flags and all this kind of stuff because it's quite an in-depth topic. But what I will say, and it's not a cop-out, is at the start, it's guesswork. It is guesswork. You've got to have kind of a rough idea in your head, more so about how much money you need to get by, to give yourself a wage, to keep a little bit of money in the business for when things go wrong and when things need replacing and repairing. You're not just doing this to give yourself a wage, you've got to have a bit extra to, for the business, which a lot of people just seem to forget. But yeah, so pricing. So I'm a sole trader, garden maintenance. Do not price by the hour. Price per job. If you're pricing by the hour, I've said this a million times in there, you're capping your earnings. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many hours your body will be able to work as a gardener day in, day out, because it's not easy. And you're just capping your earnings. There's travel time, there's, you have your dinner, you have a rest or whatever. Do not charge by the hour. You'll regret it. So, pricing jobs. I'm going to go through a few things here that you should consider straight away when pricing work. So the first one is, how far away is it? I'll just dip this slightly like that. So how far away is it to where you tend to work? What's the access like? Massive one. So now if it's access through a house, I just don't do the job. Not worth it for me. I'm full, so I can pick and choose. I appreciate if you're in the early days, you've pretty much got to take what comes along just to get your business off the ground and get it up and running, really. So through garage is all right. Now I will ask for a key because you need to kind of come and go. You need to change jobs, the weather. You need free reign, really. So we've got access. We've got things like pets. Do they have a dog poo? I've walked off jobs before. If you've seen this channel before, you'll know that I've walked off a handful of jobs because the owner just hasn't picked up the poo. No good. You may have realised that I've changed position as well because there was a load of big trees behind us and I thought they were being a little bit loud. Put that down like that. So yes, another one is obstacles, or like toys and things on the lawn or the garden. Like, will you have to move these things? Like, do you have to move benches or chairs, tables? These can be heavy. This all factors into your price. Now, I do have a garden where I basically chucked a fiver on the price because I have to move like a big heavy swing chair around, a bench, little table, and I just stuck a fiver on there because I knew if I didn't, then I would be kind of begrudge going every time, and I'd be like, oh god, can't be bothered to do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I stuck a fiver on, and happy enough. Customers happy as well. So another thing is gates. Gates can be locked. It's another access thing, really. Make sure the customer kind of leaves the gate unlocked for you, and there will be times where they do forget, so that might factor in. Parking, slightly kind of leaning to access issues again. Can you park outside the property? That's a big one because you're going to have to carry and wheel all your gear back and forth. So they are kind of the major red flags. Now, the one thing I will say as well is speak to the customer. Make sure you're there. Do not charge, give prices rather from photographs. If you do want to have photographs, just let that be a little thing of kind of a yes or no whether you're going to actually go to the garden to price up. I've done that a few times. I might say, well, send us a photo of, I'll see if it's something that I can potentially do. They'll send a picture over and I'll see it and I'm like instantly no way, and then I'll say I cannot do it, whatever. Alternatively, if it's something that does interest us, I'll arrange to go out and give them a price and chat to the customer. Unless it's just a simple grass cut, try and have the customer there so you can literally talk through everything that's going to be done. They can walk you around the garden and be specific, ask them to be specific. You'll be amazed at how often people just say, oh, I just want a general tidy. Well, what the hell's a general tidy? There's so much in a garden. There's so much you could do. You could absolutely gut it, or you could, do the bare minimum. It's no good. That doesn't help anyone. Too many grey areas. And if I forget to say this, when you do give your price, make sure you write everything down. Whether it's a text message, email, a note, whatever, detail everything you're going to do so they know and you know, so you can refer back if they're not happy at the end. So if we're talking about actual figures and like actual pricing, now I do have some pricing videos on here. They are a bit out of date, so I'd probably revisit it and go back and add a little bit extra on. Probably some of them are on the cheaper side, but for kind of like a small to medium grass cut, you'd be looking at sort of 20-25 quid. Now my minimum charge for a grass cut's £20. That seems to be standard. The rules to exceptions to every rule, but like that, I try to stand by that £20 because it's not worth it really if you're doing any less. And it might be one of them as well if a neighbour comes out and says, oh, can you cut mine, and it's only a small one. It's very tempting to kind of say, oh yeah, I'll do it for a tenner, but then what if you lose the other garden? So then you just go into that garden and it's only a tenner. So that's no good. You've got to kind of keep that in mind and keep reminding yourself of that. Rule of thumb, really, like, and I read a lot of comments, obviously, on my channel. Pound a minute seems to be the thing, especially with grass cuts. So if I've got a big lawn, it's kind of takes maybe half an hour. I would be kind of at 30-35. Because don't forget the edges as well. I don't mean the borders, I mean the edge of the lawn. That's got to be all neat as well. So that all factors in. Strimming, factors into it. So that's grass cuts. They're simple. Once you get a few of them, you'll know straight away what you should be charging. It's the ones where you haven't done the job before, or it's like a bit kind of unusual. It is guesswork. I just ask myself. It's a simple question. I just say, would you be happy with X amount for this job? What more can you do? If you haven't got any experience of doing a specific job, you are just guessing, really. You might have a rough idea of what it might take. Another big thing as well is how physical is the job going to be, because that should add, a good chunk of money on if it's physical work. I always say an hour's digging versus an hour's, say, deadheading or light pruning, for example. The digging should be a lot more than the other one. And that's why you shouldn't charge by the hour either. That's a prime example, because you shouldn't be getting paid the same amount for heavy digging to like deadheading or something like that, So if you are genuinely serious about starting up your own gardening business, I have a website and I'm taking on bookings where you can basically book a 1 hour chat with me, and I can basically pass on my experience to you guys, just to hopefully, it's not guaranteed success by any stretch, but it can hopefully like set you on the right track and cut out those early mistakes that we all make. But if kind of I can pass on what I've learned, then hopefully it can stand you in good stead and you can crack on and beat that competition early. So feel free to check that out.